Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Hope you liked our previous videos. Today we are going to be learning about motion in Scratch. There's already a first part in our channel, so be sure to check out that first part. This is the second part of motion tutorials and commands in Scratch. Let's get straight into the video. Next, let us go to glide options. Now there are two glide options here, which I prefer this option, but you can even use this also if you are designing a project. So what this glide option does is that it is going to glide so and so seconds towards either a random position or towards your mouse pointer. For example, just like the go to option, if you can see in this go to option, it is going to go to a random position. Now what happens is that the same thing happens with the glide option, but just that it is going to glide towards a random position than just suddenly going to a random position. So for example, it's if I given this command glide 1 second to random position, it is going to glide 1 second towards that random position, and again it's going to glide 1 second towards that random position. Alright, so it is going to be gliding how much ever seconds you give to a random position. And also I want to tell you that you can even increase its speed or decrease its speed. For decreasing its speed, you got to give numbers which increase. For example, numbers greater than 1. If you want to increase its speed, you got to give numbers lesser than 1. For example, I give 0.5. Now it's a faster gliding. Okay, now to make it slow, for example, I'll give it 5 seconds. So it's going to take 5 seconds to glide. So here's the timer. Count 1 2 3 4 5, and there you go. So it is going to take the amount of seconds. It's going to be faster the lesser the number. It is going to be slower the more the numbers you give. Next we have random position. We finished. Now we have the mouse pointer. Now this is the same thing as the other option, which is the go to, but the thing is it is going to glide towards the area of the mouse position or towards the line of the mouse position rather than just instantly going to line of the mouse. For example, my mouse is over here, and if I click on this, it is going to glide towards the line of my mouse, and I'll put 5 seconds, so it is going to take 5 seconds. Let me put maybe 1 second, and over here it is going to glide towards the line of my mouse pointer. So these were the options of glide. Now the second option of glide, where you can actually set the x-axis and y-axis where you want your sprite to go. For example, I want my sprite to go to this or so and so numbers in x-axis and y-axis. For example, let me change this number. Maybe I'll give it as minus 50, and then here I'll give 113. If I click on this, it is going to glide 1 second towards that same position. So if you can see over here, the position of the sprite is in minus 50 of x-axis and 113 of the y-axis. So it is just going to go to that position, but instead it is going to glide towards that position. And again, as I told you, you can increase the speed by reducing the numbers, and you can decrease the speed by adding the numbers or increasing the numbers. Next option that we have is point in direction. Now what this option does is it actually points the sprite towards the direction of degrees. Now to learn this, you need to know the circle. For example, this is the starting position 0. It is going to point upwards, its face. So what is point in direction? It's going to point its face or body upwards right now, because I've put it in 0. This means that whichever area in this 360 degree clock or 360 degree angle you can actually point that way. You can use the sprite to point that way. For example, I want my sprite to point in 180 degree position. Its face is going to point towards 180 degree, or for example, I want it to point minus 90 degree, which is actually 270 degree. If you take it over here and I click on this, it is going to point in minus 90, which is actually 270 degrees. I want it to point in 0 degrees or maybe 360 degrees. Both are the same, but just that 0 degrees means top, and 360 degrees means going a circle and then coming back to the same position of top. So it is now pointing 0 degrees. I want it now to point 105 degrees. Then I click on this, it's going to point 105 degrees. Now you have to remember that it is going to only point in that direction but not actually turn itself. Like, see the difference? Okay, if I do like this, point in direction, it's going to be like this. Now you have to observe that it is just going to point in the direction and this is going to turn. So if you click on this option, it is going to point in that direction only. But the thing is, you cannot keep clicking on it because it is only going to point in the direction in which the numbers you have given. For example, if I have given 90 degree point in direction, then it is going to be pointing 90 degree in that direction clock. It is not going to keep turning. So this is not going to turn, it is just going to point in a 90 degree angle. So if you keep on clicking it, it's just going to be in the same position of which you have given the numbers. If you want it to turn, then you have to use the turn right or turn left options. Okay, now the next option we are learning about is point towards. Now what point towards does is point towards makes it point towards your mouse pointer. Now as I've told you about point in direction, it is pointing towards the direction of this clock, which you can see over here. Yes, it's going to point in that direction. Same thing happens, but it is going to point towards your mouse pointer. For example, if my mouse pointer is over here, it is going to point towards my mouse pointer. If my mouse pointer is over here, then it is going to again point towards my mouse pointer. If it's over here, then again it's going to point towards my mouse pointer. So this option makes the sprite point towards your mouse pointer. Alright, so that was it for this video. Part 3 is also coming, so if you haven't watched part 1, be sure to watch part 1. And this is the end of part 2 of motion commands in Scratch. Thanks for watching our video. Goodbye.